Hey everybody, happy Scentsy Family Reunion 2021. I'm Angie Dalton, a star director from Tennessee, and today I'm going to talk to you about coaching a strong team and why it's important. There's more to recruiting than simply just having somebody join your team. If you want to lead a strong team, you must coach your downline and help guide them to success. Coaching isn't a big scary thing. It's simply just helping your new recruit learn the ropes of Scentsy, learn how to use their Scentsy business, and how to use their business to work towards their why. Especially in the beginning, because a consultant's first 70 days are very, very important for their long-term success with this company. Think about it like this. What did you need whenever you first clicked join? What did you need help with? What guidance did you need whenever you first joined Scentsy? And from there, you can create your own method of action of how you will help coach your brand new recruits and help them the way that you needed help in the beginning too. Your method of action is what you personally do as a leader to help onboard a new Scentsy consultant. So whenever I was new into a leadership role with Scentsy, I had to teach myself how to be a leader, how to coach. And part of that was me learning what my method of action was. What do I do whenever I have a new recruit? Like literally step by step, what do I do as a leader to help them get started? I lived a very busy lifestyle, like I know a lot of us do. So I wanted to create a method of action to where I knew that every new team member got 100% quality coaching from me in a very simple way. I didn't want to miss anything, like forget certain details. I wanted to be able to give everybody the same experience so that I knew, like as a leader, I was giving 100% to every new person that joined my team. So to do this, I created a onboarding script of my own, and I actually had this saved in my notes app on my phone, so where I could literally copy and paste whatever paragraph or whatever section that consultant needed at that time. So really it was like my script of coaching for myself for like their first 15 days especially, and then throughout their first 70 days. And like these weren't huge, like 4-page long coaching sessions. It was literally just text messages, because that is how I actually communicate with my team members the most, is through message. So I wanted to, kind of do a short, sweet, but very informational script of what I would send. So like when they join, I had a copy and paste message, and it's not just a copy and paste message from anybody. It's something that I personally created. So I know it's actually my voice, but it's a way for me to make sure that I'm giving them all of the information that they need. And it just made things easier, because I would just go in line through conversation and copy and paste. And I knew that at least on my end, I was giving everybody 100%. So yes, new team members actually have I think it's the first things checklist on Workstation, but I wanted to give them, like my own special touch, like my own thing, since they did join me in my team. I typed out very informational messages of the very basics. So guiding workstation, what shooting star is, how to do a party, the compensation plan, and so on and so on. Literally, I wanted to fill in the blanks of, once they click join, the question of what now. This made it very easy for me to also work my personal business as a consultant, and then also be giving my team members, my new recruits, myself at 100%. So now I use Visly for a text message campaign whenever somebody actually joins me, but I used this method through my notes for years, like 3.5 years. It's the most easy thing. All of our phones have a notes app. You could have it on a Word document if that's easier for you, but it was just a way to make sure that everybody was getting the same amount of information from me personally. And I was also able to share this document with any of my new leaders. So once somebody maybe sponsored their first recruits, I'd have a conversation with them, let them know my method of action of how I coach my brand new recruits. And if they wanted, my script, they could have it, obviously edit it to make it their voice. But I was able to easily share that, copy and paste the whole thing and share that with my new leaders to help coach them to be a good leader. So creating this method of action actually helped my team gain more earners of shooting star, sensational star, early promotions, because I was able to give a high quality training to my team members in a very simple and easy way. And all it took was some preparation from myself. But we all know that training doesn't end there. Training is an ongoing process of being a leader with Scentsy. So yes, I do focus a lot on my new frontline and, mainly on my frontline, but I also wanted to create a system to where I can offer coaching to my entire group, no matter how many generations down. I wanted to be able to give that opportunity to literally anybody in our group. So whenever it comes to my frontline, I do a monthly check-in, whether you have a frontline binder or maybe you use something online on a computer. You can do whatever works best for you. So throughout the month, I make a goal to reach out and have communication with all of my frontline, starting from the newest consultants and working my way up. And I do this obviously because newer consultants tend to need the most help. And that's whenever they have the most questions because, they're new and they're still learning how Scentsy works. So for this, I literally make it so simple. I go down my list and I shoot out a message. Hey, how are you doing with your Scentsy business? Is there anything I can help with? Like, this is a phrase that I use a lot because it's generic, but I also try to add in any kind of congratulations on an achievement or whatever it is to make it more personal. And that small extra touch that takes a few more seconds, it's definitely going to help. So for example, your PRV last month was killer, or congratulations on being paid a title last month. Congratulations on earning the monthly sales award. Congratulations on being active. Like, it doesn't even have to be a big goal. If they were active with 200 PRV, like, that's a great accomplishment. Every consultant is in a different part of their Scentsy journey. So adding that little bit of personalization is going to help them feel that connection with you as their leader. So if a consultant hasn't been active for a while, we do know the requirements to stay as an active consultant. It's during the pandemic, we have lengthened it. So if they haven't been active for a while, just check in and find something relatable. So maybe like, hey, did you see the new wax collection coming out on Monday? Or this is one I like to do a lot. Hey, our new fall winter catalog will be launching on the 1st. All new business materials are available now in the consultant store. I can't wait to get my fragrance testers in. Have you ordered yours? That's literally not about sales, not about any kind of, monthly sales or anything like that. That's literally just, checking in, pointing out there, because they might not even know that the new catalog is coming and that the new business materials are available if they haven't been paying attention, and so that reminds them. So that is what I love to do with my frontline. That's a goal I have every month, is to reach out to every single one of my frontline. It doesn't have to be all in one day. I just kind of break it up throughout the month. But whenever it comes to my group, I had to learn a way to give coaching opportunities to literally everybody, no matter who their sponsor is and what generation they are in my downline. As a growing team, I realized that I can't physically do one-on-one coaching sessions with every single team member. So I had to figure out a way to where I could find those people who are ready to invest in their Scentsy business and their own training. So every Monday, I actually send out a team newsletter. I keep the format of my newsletter in my notes app. I use my notes app for so much in my business, and I literally just, put the key points of what's going on that week. Like maybe the summer collection is available now while supplies last, or our new wax collection launches on Monday, or something about the summer incentive, something like that. I always do a newsletter every single Monday. And I do this because not everybody has like a Facebook or an Instagram, but everybody on the team definitely has an email. So it was the way that I found easiest for me to mass communicate to everybody in my entire team. And Workstation makes that very easy because you can actually select all, do all the pages of your downline report and send them, just copy and paste and send them that newsletter for that week. At the very top of every newsletter, I have my coaching call Google form. So this is where I mentioned if you want to set up a 15-minute coaching call with me, then please fill out the form. I'll reach out and we will schedule a time. And so I put this at the very top of the newsletter so that I know at least every single person in my downline is getting that, that open door of if they want to invest in their business and learn with me and, get some extra coaching, that they can fill out this form and we will have a coaching call. So creating a Google form is very easy to do. You can actually find plenty of YouTube videos that actually show you step by step. But the Google form that I actually use for this is just very, very simple. So it asks for their name, their sponsor, their title, what they want coaching on and the best available dates and times for them for a 15-minute call, so that I can see, okay, like what's best for them. And then I can look at my calendar, and whenever I send them a message, I thank them for filling out the coaching form, and I give them the option. That I already know what days work for them. I say, would you like to have a 15-minute coaching call Thursday at 10 a.m.? I check this form daily through the week, and I try to get the coaching call scheduled as soon as possible, because you want to have that coaching call with them whenever they're feeling that motivation that they were feeling whenever they took the time to fill out this form. So you want to get the coaching call in as soon as possible. So that's whenever I tell them to call me on that date. I do not call them. I put the accountability on them. I learned that from Chloe Cox. And with that way, I know who is really investing in their business and who might just be iffy about it if the day comes and they don't call me. So if they don't call me, then they have to, resubmit the form and reschedule a coaching call. So first thing on the call, I always remind myself, this is for my personal growth, I remind myself not to ramble, to get straight to the point, because if you ramble like I do, you know what I mean there. So I let them start the coaching call. I ask them like where they are with their business when they join and where would they like to go next. So this is focusing on small goals, because small goals lead to big goals. You can't really have a 15-minute coaching call with an essential consultant talking about how to get to director. So you want to do it step by step. So that's whenever I step in, I congratulate them and I give them that praise for anything that they've accomplished in their Scentsy business. Find the smallest thing, let them know that you're proud of them and you are clapping for them, you are in their audience. And then that's whenever I move on to let them know a few simple steps of how to get from point A to point B. I will then also explain why these steps are important, and I always try to add my personal experience so that they know that I was in the same position that they are now. The steps must be simple, they must be basic, because the basic steps are the most important for our Scentsy businesses. So for example, most of my coaching calls are to learn how to go from lead consultant and above. So in this instance, I always give my 3 income boosting routine steps, and that would be customers, sponsoring, and leading. So I actually created a small document, very short and sweet, about the 3 most important bases and income boosting task that you need to work on consistently for your Scentsy business. And I usually give them the rundown of this. Obviously, simple, keep it simple. So with customers, I mention, tips about how you can schedule social media posts to save time on your end, follow-ups, because that is always a very important thing with your customers. Being a good Facebook friend, if you are big on social media, being a good Facebook friend, Instagram friend, whatever kind of social media you're using, making sure that you respond to comments, you interact in their personal posts, being a good friend, and going live and showing your product, because we all know that lives are very, very important. So I could also give more tips, but that's just kind of like an overrun of the, whoops, sorry. Customers. So next would be sponsoring. The basics of sponsoring, how somebody first learns how to sponsor people. So asking their list of 100 if they've ever thought about selling Scentsy, writing down all interested contacts, even if it's a no for now. If somebody's interested, literally write them down. That is something I still do today. If they have the least bit interest, they might not join until another year or another 2 years or maybe next month. But you always write them down so that you have a good list to follow up with, because in this next step, follow up with that list of interested contacts every time we have a new join special, or you have a host exclusive starter kit that you want to offer to somebody if that's something that you do. So with leading, creating their own method of action of what happens once they actually do sponsor somebody. And then that is where I can offer them, my method of action, my copy and paste, my notes, kind of like a script, so they can practice with that and, create their own. Always sharing with team members like what you are currently doing to gain PRV and new recruits, and having that one-on-one coaching, because we know it is a lot easier to have more one-on-one coaching whenever you are just starting your team. So then at the end of the call, I have them decide their next coaching call date. So whether it's a couple weeks or a month, I want to do a short time period because I want to give them enough time to implement what we're talking about in the coaching call, but obviously you can't do it in a day. And I want them to have long enough to maybe see that result and that growth from what we've talked about if they are implementing what we talked about into their business. So before we hang up, I have them repeat to me what they will be doing to grow their business, what we talked about until our next call. And we have the call scheduled, so I tell them to call me on that date and time. So coaching is something that a lot of us have to practice at, including myself. And I know it can be scary to be in that leadership role, especially in the beginning, but just remind yourself that you've made it, so you are meant to be there. So use your knowledge and your experience to help guide your team to success with you. So now get your pen and paper ready and write down these questions and your answers. You ready? You got your pen, got your paper, you ready to go? Okay. What one idea or concept from this video do you want to implement in your business? I'm gonna give you a second to write that down, and I want you to write down your answer too. And it doesn't have to be that whole sentence, just maybe write down something short and sweet, like the idea that you're gonna implement, something so you remember what the actual question is. Because if you're like me, you have a memory of a goldfish. And next, how will that idea or concept help you grow a strong Scentsy team? And lastly, what do you need to do to put this idea or concept into practice for your business? So write down your game plan and stick to it. And if nobody has told you today, you are strong, you are capable, and you are worthy of big things. Thank you for watching.